Hi, this is a bonus Q&A episode. I try and go live every Thursday afternoon on the School for the Dogs Instagram account, which is simply at School for the Dogs. If you would like to ask a question in advance or be notified when I am going to go live, you can go to schoolforthedogs.com/Q&A. I also periodically answer questions on Clubhouse. You can find me there at Annie Grossman. Hi.
Is this Penny?
Yes, this is Penny.
And tell me your name.
My name's Angela.
Hey, Angela. I'm recording this for School for the Dogs podcast. Is that okay?
Yeah, mine.
Okay, great. And where are you guys based? Are you in New York City?
Yeah, so we are. We actually did sign up for a course at School for the Dogs, which starts in April.
Oh, great. Which course are you doing with us?
Doing Calm Canine.
Oh, great. Excellent.
Just because Penny, she's really excited whenever she goes outside, so we're hoping that'll help.
Is she a golden doodle?
She's a Cavapoo.
Okay. And how old is she?
She's 6 months old now.
Oh, she's just a tiny pup. A tiny
Yeah.
thing. Okay. Well, tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on with Penny.
Well, so she basically follows us everywhere in the home. So, if she's on the couch and we get up to go somewhere, she will, even if she's asleep, she will wake up, hop down and follow us to wherever we are. My only concern right now, my boyfriend works from home, so she's around somebody all day. But my concern is just when things go back to normal, he goes back to work, just because she's so used to following us, seeing us everywhere. If this becomes an issue for separation.
Yeah, well, I think you're right to be thinking about that in advance. Have you tried leaving her alone? Have you tried leaving her with anyone else? What happens when you do that?
So we've done little intervals, maybe 5-10 minutes or something, but just we're in another room. So we're still she'll be in the living room and we'll just go to another room and kind of watch her on the camera. She again tries to follow us. So far for the 5-10 minutes, she will eventually, after a couple minutes of scratching at a door, will go and kind of sit on the couch. But it's the longest that we've left her is probably 10 minutes or so.
And she cries during those 10 minutes?
In the beginning. In the beginning she does. She generally will calm down after a few minutes. We just haven't pushed it for that much longer. Just because, she seems kind of a little distressed.
Can you leave her for any amount of time without her starting to freak out? Can 30 seconds or not even?
She will immediately try to find us. Immediately try to find us, scratch at the door, sniff around and try to find us.
And have you been using a crate with Penny?
We have. So she'll sleep in it at night. We haven't used it a ton during the day. We had used it sometimes. For naps, we kind of have been a little bit lax about it lately. So
does she ever go into the crate on her own?
No, she does not. We can get her to go into the crate with treats and lure her, but she doesn't love it. So even when we try to get her to go in at night, she'll try to avoid it. She'll pretend to fall asleep on the couch. She'll automatically be oh, all of a sudden can't move her legs kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So so she doesn't love it. She'll go in, she won't scream in the crate or anything, but she just doesn't really like it that much.
And so you don't leave her in the crate at night when you go to sleep?
We do at night. At night is the only time that we really do it.
And is it in the room with you?
No, so we leave it in the living room. We weren't sure, she'll occasionally wake up and scratch at the crate, so we weren't sure if maybe we should start leaving it in the bedroom, if that would help too, just being closer, or if it
Have you experimented with leaving it in the bedroom?
I mean, we would definitely be fine doing it. We hadn't tried it. I was just wondering if it's in the bedroom, is she just going to get used to us being like right there again? Like, I just wasn't sure if that's like also going to get her really attached.
Well, I mean, when you're putting her in the crate at bedtime, is she putting up a fuss about it?
No, once she's in, she's fine. It's just the getting her in takes like a lot of effort usually.
So here are my suggestions, and you know, I'm basing these just on what you're saying, and so obviously it's on minimal information, and I've never met Penny, but I think it's a good idea that you're thinking about how you can help her be a little bit separate from you now, even though you don't really need to be leaving her alone at this point. And I think it's good that you're using a crate, but I would suggest you maybe kind of start crate training from the beginning, and maybe also get a second crate so that she can have one like in the living room or whatever room you're spending the most time, and one in the bedroom. You know, you can get like a pretty small crate just on Amazon, not that expensive. And see if you can work on making the crate a place where she is happy to be and happy to go into. You don't have to use a crate ever with a dog, and I mean, in most cases, you don't have to use a crate. But given that she's pretty small, I'm imagining you're probably going to want to travel with her in the future, and that you've already established a little bit of a crate routine with her. I think you should go with it. But start a bit over. Do you have like an open wire mesh kind of crate?
It's like it's not an open wire. It's like I don't know if you've seen them. It's a kind tail crate. It's
it's like plastic cut out kind of.
Yeah. It's got like little holes in it. But it's still kind of like, you can't see a ton out of it, I think.
Okay, I would suggest getting a brand new crate, just like a very simple open mesh metal kind of crate, and maybe start over a little bit with the new crate so it's kind of a brand new thing. I like a dog to be able to feel like they can be in the crate and still be part of what's going on, and I also want her to have nothing but really great associations with it, which is why it might be helpful to have a new one. And simply start by putting her food in the crate. I would say every meal, if possible. And when she's not looking, toss some treats in the crate. And sometimes I suggest like the FOMO exercise, which is like put delicious, awesome things in the crate and then close the door so that she can't get into it. So she's like, oh, that's the place I really need to be. That's a great idea. Yeah, just some of the time to like build her interest in the new crate. And you could continue using the other crate the way you have been using it if you want. But I would say this new crate should be a place of extra awesome stuff all the time, with the door open. Like, I want her to be choosing to go into the crate, and, you know, have it next to you on the couch and drop things in it just periodically. And then see if you can build up to having her in the crate with the door closed, and then having her in the crate with the door closed with your back turned towards her. You know, you can even write down the steps of what it's going to take for you to be able to have her in this crate. I would say work with a new crate, with, you know, like where you want it to go. Like you want to be able to, you know, leave the apartment for an hour or more without her freaking out in the crate. So I suggest kind of writing out just like what steps might look like between the very first stage, which is door open of the crate with good stuff in the crate. She can go in as much as she wants, to the point of you leaving, and break that into, you know, there might be 50 or 100 increments that you're really going to have to work on one by one. You might find yourself skipping ahead, but if you can work on it step by step like that, really working only to a point of success at each point, not pushing her to the point where she's going to be in the crate and crying. I think that you're going to be setting her up for success, building her confidence, rather than dealing with her stress, like having to get rid of behaviors that you don't like that are based on, her being fearful, stress, et cetera, et cetera. And, planning those kinds of steps, and it's the kind of thing like a professional trainer could help you do. But I often do recommend the book. She has a couple books out, but Milena DiMartini is an excellent trainer who specializes in separation anxiety. I've interviewed her on School for the Dogs podcast before, and I forget the title of her newest book, but her other book is just called Treating Separation Anxiety in Dogs. And even if you don't have a dog who has full-blown separation anxiety and is just needs to learn how to be alone, I think in that book she does a really good job of kind of breaking down step by step how you can set them up for success. Some other just little tips. Make sure you're putting the crate in a place in your home, the new crate I'm talking about, in a place in your home where you're going to be moving around a lot, so that gets used to you, going to the bathroom and coming back, and going to turn off the TV. It's not motion, and you sometimes being in and out of sight will become a more normal thing as you get to the point of leaving her in the crate with the door closed. I also suggest putting the crate somewhere where she can't see the front door, because I think dogs can sort of become fixated on the front door. When are they coming back? And again, we're far from the time when you're going to be leaving her and going out the front door, but might as well set up the crate somewhere first. But also, don't be afraid to move the crate around. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm suggesting to get a small, inexpensive, lightweight crate is so that you can bring it into whatever room you're in, whether you're the kitchen or, put it on the couch with you. I've had dogs who I've been watching, and I've put them on the desk or on the table next to my desk, while I'm working in the crate. I think having a small dog with a small crate kind of can allow you to do that, and will also give her a place that she'll be comfortable in when you're if you ever do travel with her. You can also do some things to build her confidence in the crate and build her confidence in general. Training in the crate can be a lot of fun. You can, click for sits or click for downs in the crate or click for hand touches. There's so many things that you can do in the crate because you have you literally have a captive audience, and it can be very easy to, capture behaviors, get those behaviors happening on her own that she's figuring out. Oh, all I need to do is put my butt on the ground and I'm going to get a treat. You can do that because she's not going to have a whole lot of choices of other things to do. So that's another fun way to kind of build her confidence in the crate. My last product suggestion would be to maybe get a treat and train. I really love the treat and train. It's a remote controlled. Treat dispenser. Actually, I have one literally right next to me because I've been using it with my dog. I will show you. This is the treat and train.
Oh wow.
It's you can use it with dry food, or kind of any kind of smallish dry treats, Cheerios, peanuts.
In the crate.
So you could, for a small dog with a small crate, you're probably going to want to sit it on top of the crate, and it has you'll see when you get it, it has a lip on it that you can take off, and when you take the lip off, the whole thing can sit on the crate, and it'll drop treats in the crate. There's also a really great product called the Pet Tutor, which is a similar remote control treat dispenser that can take a wider variety of types of treats. The The treat and train is more like the old school version. The pet tutor has all kinds of like bells and whistles, and is a lot more expensive and a little bit more complicated to use. So I usually suggest people start out with the treat and train, but they're both very good, and the pet tutor can definitely do a lot more than the treat and train can. But what I think is nice about either one is it's kind of like you're outsourcing some of the caretaking that so far you've been the main caretaker. It's like you're giving her a robot caretaker that I think can actually help some dogs feel like, okay, the humans are gone, but I have my robot. I have my Rosie robot babysitter to take care of me. Like outsource some of her feelings of being cared for to the robot. And it's also nice because you can literally reward her with a treat when you're in the other room or out in the hallway. And again, pinpoint the moments that she's being quiet. So if she's quiet for 10 seconds, reward with a treat. If she's quiet for 15 seconds, reward with a treat. If she starts crying at 20 seconds, and you really need to be working within that like 15 to 20 second range. And Jean with many S's is asking, can we ever give puppies too many treats during this training time? I mean, I've never known a puppy to really get like sick or fat from treats. They have like a pretty killer metabolism. But when I'm talking about treats, you could use just regular dry food, right? It doesn't have to be, bologna. And also whatever treats you use should be as small as possible. Like half of a Tic Tac is generally a good sized treat, or like half of like a fingernail is a good sized treat. We carry Crumps beef liver treats, which we really love. They're tiny. Or I also like the like Cloud Star Tricky Trainer treats, which we carry because you can break those up. They're like the size of a pencil eraser. And one of those treats you can, break up into tiny, like you could break up one of those into 6 pieces at least. And Zooks makes a similar treat that you can break up into tons and tons of pieces. But, I think we tend to not use the calories we're giving dogs as wisely as we could. And so when we talk about treats, it could be just their regular food. But, anything Penny likes is going to be a reward. So play, attention. And it sounds like attention is particularly rewarding for her. So, you could use that. The thing is, when you're dealing with separation anxiety, you want to try, like what we call, actually, I think in the podcast episode I did with Malena, she talks about how separation anxiety, I think about how it's like become kind of a catch-all term, because a lot of the times it's probably like calling someone who's a little bit sad, like depressed, like it's maybe a little extreme, but for lack of a better term, let's call it separation anxiety. You don't want to be like bombarding her with attention every time you enter, or every time she gets out of the crate. You don't want to be like throwing a major party. You want to be like kind of, being chill around her. So using attention when you're training something like, training a dog to feel okay to be alone can be a little tricky for that reason. My last suggestion to you is to try and make sure she is getting some good experiences, certainly with other young dogs, but definitely with other people. And I know this can be hard right now because we're all still being pretty careful with, lockdown, etc. But as much as possible, have other people come over, feed her meals. If you have a cleaning person coming into your house, have the cleaning person feed the meals. Have the cleaning person put things in the crate. Have your neighbor come over and feed her in the hallway. Whatever you can do to help her feel good about people in the world other than you, I think is probably smart at this point, since her world is probably pretty small. So
Yeah.
is that any other questions? I hope I've
No, that was super helpful. That was
vomited
great.
out a bunch of ideas.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think it's great that you're going to be doing the Calm Canine course. Actually, next week, also we're doing, we're calling it Dog Training in 21 Days. It's starting on April 1st. And it's 21 days of like exercises that you can do, just training exercises, like little training challenges that none of them take very long. So that might also be a fun thing that you can do with her. I think the more training that you do with her, even if you're not training like specific things, like yes, I think you should be working on the crate stuff and leaving her alone. But my guess is the more training you do with her of any kind, the more it's going to build her confidence, and the less she's going to feel like, you know, her entire world depends on you. And the more training, also, like, the more, like, fun exercises you can get anyone else to do, you know, and, you know, I'm a big fan of getting kids involved in training. I think it's a good way to outsource things to kids. And, you know, these are the kinds of exercises you could be doing with kids, you know, if you have any kids in your world that could work with her. And lastly, you know, making sure that she, like I said, she is getting some good one-on-one time with other dogs. That's going to help her get her energy out and, again, just kind of like broaden her view of what the world contains, so that it's not just you. All right. Well, thank you so much. It was a really great question. Keep me posted on how things go.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, she is so amazingly cute. Oh, I understand why you guys want to be close to each other. What a little face. Aw. And I guess we'll see you in class soon. Are you doing the virtual Calm Canine or the in person?
No, it'll be the in-person one.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, I hope that goes really well, and keep in touch.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Bye.